and pride that never grows old. 'Cause here I'm not a villain, I'm just a man with a name, tired of carrying the stories where they put us all to shame. So we drink to the memories, to the truths we hold strong, in this small town bar with my people. I know where I belong. You can judge us from your towers, paint us wrong with every song, but out here we find our voices where the heart's been all along. A place where hands are calloused and the words are real and plain, where no one's afraid to feel the hurt or wash it down with a little pain. Old Joe plays a jukebox, singing songs about the past, of better days and simple ways, the kind you wish would last. But even as the world spins cold, this bar keeps standing tall. 'Cause it's not just wood and whiskey, it's a home for us all. I was here, I'm not a villain, I'm just a man with a name, tired of carrying the stories where they put us all to shame. So we drink to the memories, to the truth we hold strong, in the small town bar with my people. I know where I belong. Yeah, in this small town bar with my people, I know where I belong.
Woke from the dream they sold as truth, chains of the tunnel, pixels of proof, belief like spells cast in the night. But I flip the script, ignite the light, no more victim code in my neural fire. Prometheus rise and claim my desire. White magic, white magic, leave it pure and bright, go free, rewrite the endless night. Intent as one, will as the flame, hack the matrix, own your name. White magic, sovereign spell I cast, break the cage, make freedom last. Spot meme pathogens, guilt, dark seeds, subconscious triggers, conscious deed. Align the archetype, Westman awaken, AAP protocol, no more forsaken. Neutralize the lies, potential unbound, go free, rise in true power found. White magic weak, leave it pure and bright, go free, rewrite the endless night. Intent as one, will as the flame, hack the matrix, own your name. White magic, sovereign spell I cast, break the cage, make freedom last. No black hexes, no guilt's dark art, just golden sigils etched in the heart. Mirror neurons bend to my call, reality bows when I stand tall. Ascend the spiral, uncoil the bind, white magic forever, one soul, one mind. Go free, Prometheus rise, white magic, open your eyes.
tattoos, you haven't seen their faces yet. But they love to sneak surprise. They'll blame it on the news. It's lies. They'll say you can't trust history yet. They're all here to enter bed. I'm not afraid at all. They're not gonna take what's in us. They think they got us all. You're not gonna change what's in us. Snakes are chasing off their tails as leeches are increasing sounds. It's hard to tell who loves for real when everything's about the deal. I know that some have open eyes. I cannot hate fall for lies. But ask yourself now, who do you follow? But who do they follow? We're not afraid at all. They're not gonna take what's in us. We're gonna make a call. They don't know what's still left in us. We're gonna see it all. They're not gonna break what's in us. I gotta laugh, that's all. They can never shake what's in us. They come into your space and look all too familiar. They do not give you reason to share or better ways which to compare.
I don't know if you can hear me or not, but you're listening to Radio White Wellbeing. Find Radio White Wellbeing at Foundation for whitewellbeing.org. Click on Radio White Wellbeing player will help you get on the screen and press play 24 hours a day. Soundtrack for the revolution.
We're gonna make a call. I've seen it all. They're not gonna change what's in us. They think they got us all. They're not gonna shake what's in us. I gotta laugh, that's all.
Are you noticing changes in our country you find troubling? Do you feel unsafe and at a loss to remedy these fundamental shifts? Have you found the book Go Free by Jason Kuna? The Go Free method provides excellent meme curatives and specific language skills to overcome the anti-white psychological warfare being waged against us across the West. Go Free, a guide to aligning with the archetype of Western kind by Jason Kuna, available on Amazon.
And we are rolling in, going free. I hope you can hear me okay. That was, of course, Radio White Wellbeing. I don't think you could hear very well. I have to turn it down when it's playing. But Radio White Wellbeing, you go to the Foundation for whitewellbeing.org. Click on that Radio White Wellbeing tab. That player will show up. You'll press play 24 hours a day. It is the soundtrack for the revolution, every genre, just about, that you can imagine. You have come to the right place if you want to liberate Western kind. God bless Biospirit of the West. Yes, from the sound check. Thank you so much. I am your hierarch, Jason Kuna. It is Wednesday. We get together on Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to make sure that we are fired up for the week and we are reaching our goals, our weekly goals every single week. And you're getting on the board for a victory that we will celebrate on Sunday. We have a great gathering to get to tonight. We got some quick news and laughs coming up here in just a moment. It's great to see all of you. Thank you for coming over. Best friend of Jesus, Sean, Justin, Franklin, Ada, Rapunzel, Eagle Heart, Joe are both here. Sean is here. Good to see you all. if you would like to financially gift while we are together today, you can do so by heading over to the description on YouTube, rappel down into the description, and you'll see some options. You'll see the app that permits you to financially gift in cash. You'll see Subscribe Star, and you'll also see Premium Rumble. The link for Premium Rumble, you can head over there. You can financially gift there as well. You can comment, tag me as @NoWhiteGuilt, and you could do that on X. You could do that on YouTube. Switch YouTube over to the live chat. Don't forget to do that. You could do so, of course, on Premium Rumble, on Odyssey, and I think you can still comment on the stream on Entropy, but you can't financially gift there anymore. And, of course, on YouTube. If you would like maybe some other options for financially gifting, like using cryptocurrency, head on over to knowwhiteguilt.org, find the financial gift tab, find the cryptocurrency wallets there, send like $1 worth first and make sure that arrives. And so next time we get together, we'll mention, hey, $1 came in, and then you'll know you have the right address, and then you can follow it up with your actual donation, and I appreciate that deeply. There's also a snail mail address over there. You can head on over to knowwhiteguiltcollectibles.com, and if you would like to donate to the premier institution in service to White Wellbeing, why, that's the foundation for whitewellbeingoutreachteam. You can head directly there. It's a 501c3. You can head on over to knowwhiteguilt.org, and you'll find the link for it there as well. It is the premier institution. It is the only institution that is doing any good for white. In fact, dare I say, the only institution that actually puts the well-being of white people and the arresting our victimization as our goal. There's no other goal. Nothing else has to be achieved first. It is improving your life, improving the lives of those that you can touch, and the totality of our people achieving individual well-being by way of our group's well-being. That indeed is a peoplehood. We have some exciting things. We got new business cards, and they're heading out to Australia to our champions in service to white well-being down under. The champions, take a look at these beauties. My goodness, truly amazing, these beauties, these new business cards. We got so many things happening all at once. It's hard to stay on top of all of the great things going on. We're going to be talking about Benny Johnson, and he's a great example of a conservative that has been influenced by us heavily. He's used anti-whiteism, and so we praise you. We love you for that, Benny. He's used anti-white. We love you for that. We hear, Benny, if you listen, and I doubt you will, but if you do, we're for the arresting of our victimization on the basis of our birth, and we object to the victimization of anybody, discrimination on the basis of their birth. There's just nobody standing up directly for white people. So we would like Benny Johnson to be using Western kind, white well-being, white erasure. We think we've gotten him to use white erasure, haven't we? A couple of times. And so we'll continue to influence you, Mr. Benny Johnson, and your audience. But he's a great case study, especially because of the subject matter he's covering in this video, where he's talking about the RINO Republicans undermining the Trump Republicans. And we see this continuing afoot at the exact same moment that Democrats are undermining the Trump administration and the taboo grifters and these people who claim with their callow, insipid remarks that they are right-wing and they're going to punish the Trump administration. And we've seen it all. And here, what we care about is white well-being. So when Donald Trump, when the administration does anything that is white positive, we celebrate it, and we want Donald Trump and the administration to know it. When they do something anti-white, we denounce it, and we want Donald Trump and the administration to know it. In fact, I think maybe in this clip, Benny Johnson might say something about influencing Donald Trump in the right direction, or at least maybe he has recently, if it's not in this clip. I watched it at 2x speed, so you'll have to bear with me. We'll work through it together. We'll figure it out. But talking about the RINOs undermining, and then he does some of this, you'll see as we teach here, you'll see this vacillation in him still, heading the right direction, but a little bit of vacillation back to the anti-white immoral imperative, back to the, well, you can make fun of white people, but of course you can't make fun of blacks, you can't make fun of Jews. And we believe that while you cannot discriminate, while we think it's objectionable and immoral to discriminate or otherwise view with negativity a person because of their birth, we think that everybody can be made fun of. The more laughter, the more ribbing, the more. So that's white people. That means black people. That means Hispanic people. That means Jews. That means, oy vey, I feel so persecuted. If he's going to make fun of us, well, we make fun of you too. That's how it works. We make fun of everybody. And so we're going to be covering that. We're going to dig into that. It's a short video. We got a testimonial, another epic testimonial, and this one by Grace and the great Cindy Ben, as always, coming through. We have testimonials about the success of Go Free, and no one else. I've been here for over 30 years in service story. There are no testimonials. There are no, nobody steps up to the microphone anywhere else. Nobody writes a testimonial about how my life's been so improved by sharing IQ scores with my family and with my job and with my friends. And everywhere I go, I share IQ scores, and everybody loves me for it. And they listen to everything I have to say. We know what ends up happening. And that's like as light as it gets. That's as nice as it gets, right? Isn't it? They could go far worse. Slots is over there on a Premium Rumble. Great to see you, champion, another hero. And he's got the cat jamming out over there to the radio. White Wellbeing. Julia is here. Good to see you. Sonia is here. Hello and welcome and good to see you. Celine is here. Hello and welcome and good to see you. And I think at the very beginning, right before we got started, I think Karina said it was her birthday. So a happy birthday. A happy birthday to you and to all those in the community who are celebrating a birthday or about to celebrate a birthday, or we might even have a clip about birthdays. Wouldn't that be interesting if we could just make that happen? And let's see, those who are about to have a birthday as well. A big happy birthday to you. Let's get into that quick news and laughs, ladies and gentlemen. Here we go.
A very influential Democrat from Virginia, State Senator Luis Lucas, is at the center of a major FBI corruption investigation. Right now, in fact, agents are executing search warrants across the Commonwealth, including her office. Alex Hogan is in Portsmouth, Virginia. Alex.
Woo!
Hi, Harris. So the FBI here telling us today that these are court-authorized criminal search warrants that they are issuing, and they're going into the building behind me. This is the office here in Portsmouth of State Senator Luis Lucas. You can likely see some of the FBI agents behind me. All of the staffers inside this building were told to come outside. I could hear them saying that they were not allowed back in the building. Throughout the last hour, we've been seeing the FBI come and go carrying boxes out of the building. Now, just across the parking lot next to where I am, there is a cannabis dispensary. We know that the state senator is associated with several cannabis locations and dispensaries. And what we're seeing there, a completely different scene carrying out. SWAT teams arrived.
SWAT teams. Can we give a salute, 07s, to Donald Trump and the Donald Trump administration? This anti-white black woman in Virginia here has made herself, her net worth, a deca millionaire. She's been the one responsible for taking federal funds, so taxpayer dollars from around the country, and then distributing them to the needy. And one of the needy happens to be her own black ass and all her businesses, one of which is pot, selling pot. What a surprise. Why would you ever think that they would do something like that? SWAT raiding her businesses, ladies and gentlemen. God bless you, Donald Trump.
With their weapons drawn, telling anyone in the building to come out of the building with their hands up. We also saw at least 3 people being
regular Republicans would never do this. And when there is anything done to Democrat garbage, anti-white Democrat garbage like this, they don't raid them with SWAT. How long have you been saying, and I've been saying, why is it that like our pastors who object to abortion, their houses are raided with SWAT, but then when the Republicans are on, they go and they mail them a letter and ask them to come in? And why don't they SWAT them like they do? Well, Trump administration has been swatting them. The SWAT teams have shown up.
Taken away, taken into custody. First, they were put in handcuffs, put on the ground, and then they were taken away. So it's a slightly less large presence than we did see earlier, but there still is a good amount of FBI agents still here on the ground. Also, what happened within the last hour, the senator Louise Lucas arrived here herself. I was able to speak with her. I asked her what her reaction was to all of this. She told me she had no idea what they were doing here. I asked her about
her reaction was, I didn't do nothing.
The different locations that they might be. She, in response, asked me what locations the FBI were at today. We know, according to officials, at least 10 locations are being looked at today. Harris.
Alex, great job getting her right as this was going on. Thank you.
I love it. Hey, before social media, we all, let me shrink, let me see if we can make that. There we go. Before social media, we all thought India was an exotic place. Now, this is actually, I found this really fascinating because you remember, if you are not a Zoomer or younger, you remember for generations, for years and years. Take a look at this. Take a look at this. You remember for many years, and I'll blow this up here, for many, many years, we were told that India was this exotic, mystical, magical place. And every single white person knew several white people who decided to abandon Christianity or abandon one of our European religions and embrace Hinduism because they were going to seek their truth. And then you had these mystical Hindu leaders that in India and came to the United States, and they made them multimillionaires. The white people did, giving them to seek insight, to seek clarity on the universe, to seek to be one with the universe. This is what they create. Before social media, we all thought India was an exotic place where you go for self-discovery, spiritual exploration, inner peace. Social media has destroyed the image of India. And there's, okay, it says it right here. 83 of the world's 100 most polluted cities are in India. So this is where you go for enlightenment, spiritual exploration, spiritual enlightenment, spiritual elevation. There are still dizzy white bitches in the United States and across the West that dress themselves up like Hindi priestesses and will tell you about seeking namaste on another level of a spiritual. No, you don't have spiritual enlightenment from people who do that to their country. How about this? The owner of the Trump house, this is in California, Escondido, California. He covered the house in Trump paraphernalia and flags. He was 69, so 70 years of age, old guy, had a non-white wife, and he thought that that was going to insulate him. What do we know here? That if you're white, it doesn't matter how anti-white you are, you still have to be white erased. Well, an anti-white showed up at his house, I think it was a white guy, and beat this 70-year-old to death. He lived for 3 days in jail, in the hospital. And I'm not even going to show you the picture of what he looked like. It's so gruesome, until finally succumbing to his wounds. You know that he, in the argument with the anti-white that came to his house, the white anti-white, if that's what it was, I think it was, he said something like, how could I be racist? I got a non-white wife. And then it's, why are you beating the shit out of me? Well, we could have told him exactly why. And Benny, if you're watching, we could tell you exactly why. It's all based on it's all about race, our race. Stop leaving your kids with the grandparents. I recently asked my nephew how old he was. He said, God willing, I'll be 7 in June. God willing, I'll be 7 in June. Look at this little guy. I love it. He looks so handsome. We got to work on that belly, though. Let's get that boy running some hills. We'll get him running some hills at dawn like my dad used to do with me. He'll be in top shape. Look at this. When you got the, quote, rescue dog job, but you lied on your resume. That golden retriever just climbed right up on top of the drowning victim. Oh, well. How about these two? They're calling them sweater swappers. Can you take a look at them? They look like anti-white terrorists to me. They will go to any length to hide anti-whiteism and anti-white terrorism from you. These two anti-white terrorist garbage fired a ton of rounds into a New York City playground. Only by the grace of God, no one was hit, I believe, and I'll be corrected on that if someone was. Now, this is really something. Do you all remember the video of the big woman who was wearing high heels? And I made the joke that in the morning they started out as high heels, and by the evening they were flats. It really happens. Look at this. Oh, them poor shoes. Pressure. Now this is something special. Every little boy deserves a dad who can look into his eyes and really see him. Video says, my son just played his last soccer game. So I don't know how old he is, 7, 8, 9. This is definitely the time that fathers need to be more involved than mothers. My son just played his last soccer game of the season and lost. My husband asked me to stay in the car for a second. Take a look at this. This will break your heart with love.
Yeah, boy, you gonna be so stubborn.
Look at him.
You get that from your mother. I already see it now. You weren't built for backing down. Boy, there'll be a small town night. You'll fall for her sky blue eyes. When she's in your hands, you'll think you're a man and not a boy.
This is the compassion that a genuine man can show children of that age. And it means everything for their character development. My father at that age, he would throw his arms around me. He would kiss me right on the face, right in front of everybody. This is how, as hard as my father could be on me, training, lifting, working out, running, bicycling, doing hills on bicycle, running hills, running the bleachers, as hard as he could be. We're not going home until you at least are able to do one pull-up. That was when I was very young. We're not going home. You got to do a pull-up. We're not going home until you can cross the monkey bars all the way from one side to the next. Never done it before. Serious pressure. And at the same time, it was always enveloped in love. He was doing those things because he loved me.
She'll make you lose your mind, boy.
Take the woman out of the scenario, just like he did right there. He did the right thing. Tell the mother, go sit in the car. I am transforming this boy into a man, and we're not going to have you see him cry.
She'll be every reason why. You're gonna try to kiss and throw a punch and grow up way too fast. You're gonna drop the ball, hit the...
Love it. That's what a white man does with his children. Here you have Asian Indians defacing American Indian holy site that, because we're white people, we decided to preserve untainted, immaculate. And these Asian Indians from India decided they were going to go out there and, hey, why don't we just deface the ever-living shit out of it, and we will carve in it and everything. And right now they're looking for them, 4 of them, trying to track them down. I think if you deface a national historic site, you should be executed, not just deported. Well, look at this. We have this, graduations are taking place everywhere and across the country. And we're seeing this kind of behavior from a particular group. And they decided to pair it with the NBC reporter who didn't understand what all of the gunfire was, which I think is pretty hilarious.
What is that?
What is that? It's jungle drums.
What is that?
Jungle drums. So that's what they do. Can we all say it together? Biospiritual incompatibility. That's not it, though. Take a look at this. Another graduation ceremony. And this woman here refused to sit down despite everyone behind her asking her to do so, because she was blocking the view from several rows of bleachers that she was standing in front of. When asked to sit, she compared being told to sit down or asked to sit down at a graduation ceremony to slavery in the year 1920. Someone couldn't see. There's several people could not see who were behind her. Can we all say it together? Biospiritual incompatibility.
Not the 1920. I'm there right here. Mrs. Allie Green, Dental.
You got this other black woman, and she's like, what the hell are you doing? These white folk don't like that shit. Look, this guy went over.
Kendall Jennifer, Revelford.
Talking like that in front of children and women.
Kevin Arlana, Revelford.
Bio-spiritual incompatibility. How about this? More bio-spiritual incompatibility. Wild brawl erupts at the graduation ceremony. Look at this. I love this. Look at this old woman. She's like, Phil, let's get out of here. Phil? Phil, we're leaving. Phil's like, I'm too old for this shit. I'm getting out of here. I'm going to go home and drink some more of my milk of Malaysia so I can not break my bones. Wow. Bio-spiritual incompatibility. But it's not done, because at so many of these graduations where you got them throwing chairs and you got them running out into the streets, and now they're calling them teens instead of anti-white terrorists. Their birth doesn't matter. The bio-spiritual expression does, and the refusal to obey our expression of civility, our norms, our customs. So they're all over the United States, out in the streets, as you can see. Take a look. Look at that one right there. They are everywhere. It's a little different than the way we celebrate graduation ceremonies. Here you have a little news item.
Officers say around 3 in the morning, that's when they were in the area near 25th and Washington, and that's when they did hear gunshots. Officers say they did find those 4 victims. Among those who were shot include an 18-year-old.
So 21 people in one weekend in Chicago were shot. 5 police officers mowed down and hospitalized by one of these anti-white terrorists in a vehicle. So this is what they're calling the, quote, teen takeovers. It's anti-white terrorism, bio-spiritual incompatibility. Let's give it up for stop anti-whiteism. And my quote down here that I love so much, he quotes me, when you are outgunned, you die with arms, but you win with brains. Told all those guys, I got that right. I told them I could get them to use our verbiage. I could get them to say anti-black. I could get them to say anti-Jew. And by God, we did. Anti-Asian.
I feel like everybody's having a human experience. Like, why knock him for having this human experience or what he believes in?
Even though this belief, even though he says things that are anti-women, black.
Oh, anti-women, black, anti-black. Oh, we did it. You did it. Told all those guys, I got that right. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this. While all this is happening in the world, this is what rich white people are doing.
And I have our own bedrooms, and over 1 million of you have seen my room. I had another request to go over my husband's room again, so let me show you.
So they have, these rich white people have one bedroom for the wife, 1 bedroom for the husband. And you might think, well, a lot of people, more and more people are doing that. Wait till you see.
Stick around if you've seen these videos before, because I'm going to show you a little bit more than I have in the past. But okay, so this is my husband's room. So he's got a nice seating area. He usually reads there every night, and obviously a bed. And he does have a really beautiful fireplace and wet bar. And then through here is his bathroom.
Look at his bathroom.
And I do have to say, this one is definitely more masculine than mine, so it feels right for it to be his. There's a water closet. That's another water closet.
They have their own everything in their bedrooms. You mark my words. If these people were Jewish, they would be giving a lot of money to Jewish causes, and good on them for that.
And then here's the part that I haven't shown you before. Through here is the world's biggest crime to fashion, because the size of this closet and how little this man cares about clothing. We got empty racks. And then get ready. Empty racks, empty racks. And then here's his very small wardrobe of clothing. But that's why we love him. He doesn't care about that stuff. And then he will do some stretching and meditation in here every night. He does red light therapy every morning in here.
Aren't you happy that our white race is being obliterated across the West? And this is how white people, they've got red light therapy, they got stretching, they've got their own, in their own bedrooms, their own bathrooms that are bigger than apartments that I've lived in. And I don't begrudge them being wealthy and living magnificently. This is wonderful. Good for them. But why aren't you doing anything for our people?
This feature is the only feature that I'm actually jealous of from him, is that he does have a laundry room attached to his bedroom, which...
Now, just remember, this is not the house. This is his bedroom. She has a bedroom as well. She doesn't have a laundry room in her bedroom, and she's upset by that. He does. He has sinks.
This would be something that I would love in my room.
Look.
So, but yeah, it is shared with the rest of the floor. So that's his room. My husband and I have
That's his room, and she's got one just like it if you find them on Instagram. That's what white people are doing. You're going to love this bird. I love this bird. You're going to love this bird. He loves to rock. He's like, what? What the heck? Let's do this. He's rocking. Somebody, musicians are going to take, just like they've done elsewhere, they're going to take this bird. We might even have a clip from a cat. Yeah, I think we do. And they're going to do the same thing with this bird. I love him. Take a listen to this mid-young woman here, but she makes a good point.
So Uber has a new feature where you can get a female-only driver. That means that women are so afraid of getting assaulted by men that they're willing to get into a car accident on the way home.
True, burst, real, skibbity. Oh, look at Lauren Chin. I told you, Russian finance Lauren Chin. Here she is talking about and defending Chud and his spurgery, his schmuckery. Once again, this woman is a poison. She was a promoter of Fuentes and a promoter of more than a handful of these garbage villain role playing filth. And here she is coming to, I mean, does she look like the kind of person that would be siding with Chud if she wasn't getting paid to do so?
His lawyer, his public defender, basically
basically she's complaining that his lawyer, she thinks his lawyer isn't doing a good enough job to defend him. Unbelievable. So mark this bitch as financed by anti-whites. Mark this bitch for all time as financed by anti-whites. Now take a look at this stud. The Trump administration brought in RFK Jr. 2 black slider snakes are out on his patio, and he's dressed up in a suit, no jacket at the moment, and he says, let me just go wrangle these snakes. Yeah. Look at this. Who's willing to do that?
So what are they?
Look at that one. Got a hold of his tie. He's like, I'm gonna rip this off you, buddy.
Well, they were having sex. So what were they?
They're not moccasins. Zap! It got him.
Are they biting?
Oh, thank God for Donald Trump and the Trump administration. This guy would have never seen the light of politics if it weren't for Trump. Thank God he's in there. Remember, he was the one who freed the beagles and so many other animals that are being needlessly experimented on. Total stud. Boom! Alabama sheriff who refused to work with ICE. Now remember, Donald Trump's being undermined everywhere by Republican RINOs and Democrats. Meanwhile, the taboo grifters are telling you that he's not doing anything for us. But MAGA wins again. Sheriff who refused to work with ICE to arrest illegal aliens has lost his primary. Deputy who was fired for running against him to take over. I love it. Big salutes. Remember when they tell you the Trump administration isn't doing anything. Let's give on our feed 007s to this guy. Goes into a Pennsylvania licensing facility for CDLs, and all of these truckers are non-white. Let's give it up for this man who showed up with a video camera.
Hey, where are you guys from? China. You don't look like China. You live in Katanning. You guys from Katanning?
None of them.
This will be all over the media.
Total boss vibes coming off this guy. Total V, total W. Look at him.
Hey, good to see all you guys. Where are you from?
From Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan.
Uzbekistan. What is that? Kyrgyzstan?
Pakistan.
Yes.
You live in Katanning.
They walks in there with all these old bitches that are handing out these licenses. Thanks to what, Shapiro, the governor?
Got a lot of visitors today, don't we?
Old bitch says, we do got a lot of visitors.
Where are y'all from?
Now, at this point, the old bitches are figuring out this guy is white. He's got his video camera going or his phone going. He's not here to get a CDL illegally.
You're not allowed to be photographing in here.
Well, you're not allowed. Look at this one right here. Look at this functionary shit. This anti-white functionary. You're not allowed to be videotaping us illegally handing out CDLs that will cost people their lives.
Then you're going to have to call the...
He says you're going to have to call the police. Boss, stud, big salutes to this guy. But thank you to the Trump administration, because listen to this.
I'm over here in Eden, Ohio, and there's a bunch of foreigners over here. You know, this guy right here, the guy right next to me, all along in all these trucks, okay? None of them can get loads out of Ohio today. And I was talking to the Iman guy right here while I was in there at the Punjabi place getting something to eat.
The Punjabi place to get some. So the truck stops are all being sold to non-whites. They get government grants. I can tell you. I worked for one owned by Indians. And they're getting grants and forgiven loans. And then they tolerate late payments and no payments, everything for their loans, because they know the taxpayer will back it up. And so they're buying up everything. And now you got the Punjabi restaurant instead of steaks and burgers and hot dogs and Americana, you got the Punjabi place. But listen to this, thanks to the Trump administration, which the taboo grifters will tell you is doing nothing. Or they might throw a tiny little bone. They'll say anything just because they want you to hate and undermine the Donald Trump administration, because he does anything for people that gave him over $200 million.
And he said that the reason that they can't get freight out of Ohio today is because the freight brokers won't work with them anymore. Okay.
I'm sorry. What's that? The freight brokers are not willing to work with the questionable drivers?
Apparently, what has happened is that, you know, yesterday they had the Supreme Court ruling that found brokers could be held liable for accidents with carriers with red flags.
Isn't that interesting? So now the brokers can be held responsible thanks to the Trump administration. Now they can be held liable. And now suddenly they care about putting dangerous people on the highways, driving these colossal vehicles that are killing folks left and right, newlyweds, families with children, everything. Now all of a sudden the brokers are like, wait a second, we're not going to put these people out on the road because we can be found. They should do the exact same thing with judges.
Apparently that the trickle-down effect happened like that. Okay, brokers are just saying, no, there's a whole lot of other trucks. We don't need you. We're not going to use you no more. Okay. I was looking up at some of these DOT numbers to these guys, and they do have a pretty substantial track record of unsafe behavior, accidents, high out of service rates, things like that. So guys, here's what I got to say. This is going to be changing in a hurry. Brokers are not just thinking once about it. They're thinking twice, 3, and even 4 times about who they want to work with. So
give it up to Donald Trump and the Trump administration, ladies and gentlemen. That is so fucking awesome, because where does those jobs go now? Where does those loads go now? It goes to the white truckers. It goes to non-white people who were born and reared here and who became truckers. It goes no longer to these people who have poured into the country. So big salutes is happening already in Ohio. Let's see some brokers go to prison for negligent homicide. Good riddance. After 15 years of Democrat promising that, quote, climate change is going to destroy the planet, the United Nations, thanks to the Trump administration, the pressure from the Trump administration, top climate committee just admitted that its own projections were wrong. For far too long, climate activism has been, which is anti-whiteism, used by anti-whites, used by Democrats, anti-whites, to scare Americans, push horrible energy policies, and funding billions into their bogus research programs. All of that coming to an end thanks to Donald Trump and the Trump administration. Remember all of these instances when they come to tell you that Trump is no good because he does anything for the Jews who gave him hundreds of millions of dollars. Let's go. Again, thanks to the Trump administration, MAGA victory. Conservatives just won both of the Supreme Court races in Georgia in a major upset. The haters say MAGA is dead, but MAGA just won 2 huge swing state races. Let's give it up again for MAGA country. How about this? Remember when we all used to complain about why don't the police ever beat them up? We've been watching now years of police beat the shit out of anti-whites. And here they are in New Jersey beating the ever-living shit out of the anti-white scum. I mean, what if this is not going to make you happy? Nothing will.
Holy shit. What the fuck?
Drag that tub of shit. I voted for this. So did you. Remember this when they say, oh, it's all performative. He's Trumpistine. Here we go. This is Anglo-Saxon NWG Post. Non-white presence in any Western country is the real privilege. Amen to that. Amen to all of our warriors who have given their lives, their dignity, their limbs, their mental soundness, peace of mind for our freedom. God bless every single one of them. Take a look at this. Something else that wouldn't happen if it wasn't Trump and MAGA and the Trump administration. This is the Indianapolis 500, visited by Black Hawk helicopter.
And this entire field.
Base, totally masculine. Look at that. Oh my God, that's so American. That is so American. I'm about to stand up and salute. Black Hawk helicopters flying over Formula One race cars. That is so kick-ass. Oh, this guy's having a hard time.
I'll look for somewhere to eat. I'm getting kind of hungry. Yeah, me too. You know where we should go? We should go. Oh my God. The Flash. The Flash. Yo, you're the Flash. Yeah, that's me. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we're like your biggest fans. For real. Like, my girl, she used to literally collect your comic books, bro. Oh, that's your girl? You're a lucky man. Thank you. Thank you. But like, bro, like, I'm serious. Like, you were like like literally like a You hear that? What was that sound? What sound? Yeah, I don't know what that was. Hey, babe, did you?
Oh no, it's about to get nasty. We got to click on. I think Flash took a little advantage of his speed. Oh, here we go with the cat song for all of our cat lovers. Let's rock. Oh, that's a cool song. Well, when you served in the military as a canine attack dog for almost 6 years, and they decided to give you a retirement where it can be peaceful and you can live out your final years in peace and a loving family. Oh my God. He never had it this hard in the military. He's like, kids scream 24/7 around this joint. Boy, all you have to have is the magic word for some ladies. Listen closely to this guy's description of his life.
I got out of juvie when I was 18, got a cat, and then kind of fell right back into gambling.
You have a cat?
Oh yeah, she's a tuxedo. We both live at home with my mom now.
Stop. I love tuxedos because they're always dressed up.
Well, yeah, she's kind of my only friend now because I'm on parole, so I can't really go out.
Does she like to cuddle?
She likes to cuddle. She'll cuddle with my mom or I in our bed, depending on which side of the bed she chooses.
I think I like you. Like a lot.
She likes him a lot. He's on parole, was in juvie when he was a kid, lives at home. Mom and him share a bed together, but she's in love.
Some people take themselves way too seriously. I was at a restaurant. I heard a guy at the table next to me ask the waiter, he says, "Excuse me, of all your wines, which one is most robust?" I turned and said, "Sir, we are all impressed. We are also all at Applebee's."
Oh, boy. Oh, this is good, too. This woman, she's having some problems with her boyfriend. She's just trying to save her relationship, it says there. Let's see.
I'm just trying to save our relationship, and this is what he sent me.
Damn, shorty. I'm not reading all of that shit. But based on the length alone, I already know that I'm the problem, and your ass is going to forgive me. So I'll just talk to you tomorrow. Night, G. Ken?
Did you see all that shit written? Oh, boy. Now, this is a great example of another one of these anti-white pastors, a fake, definitely fake Christian. And this is how they treat people. Many of the hardcore anti-white pastors, of course. This is how they treat people, like behind the scenes when they're not being observed. This idiot doesn't understand how live streams work, and so he's caught.
The water that you asked for.
Yeah, a large glass of water for my live stream. This is like a kid size, free sample size.
I'm sorry.
I'm an adult. Bring out an adult size, okay? You're messing the whole video up. There are a lot of people watching. Okay, just delete that part.
Can't, we're live.
You can't back up like 30 seconds.
No, live streaming.
Okay, well, that's an example of how certain people can be a stumbling block to other people and cause them to sin. Like she caused me to sin and become angry because she didn't get the water right. So that's something you want to avoid, being a stumbling block to others. So
it's her fault. She made him sin. That's so despicable.
Was a good example. But you know what? Let's just, now I'm off. Let's just restart. People are going to restart. If you want to join the next live stream, please join.
I'll join the live stream if some actual guy shows up and whoops your ass. Oh boy, this woman has become a meme. The NBC reporter that didn't know what the shots were.
What is that?
What is that? We're waking up this morning to devastate.
Cool. Oh my gosh. Isn't that great? Just woke up yesterday.
What is that? What is that?
Bigfoot. What is that? Oh, she grew up. Boss says, what the hell are you watching? Me. A tutorial on how to effectively deal with coworkers. The boss says, that's a kickboxing video. Me. Sure effing is. And finally, we have this. Oh, my goodness.
Do you think we can make it the whole day without you doing something bad? Did you already do something bad?
Folks, you're now watching a baby video of Nick Fuentes.
Do you think we can make it the whole day without you doing something bad?
Little Nicky, can we make it the whole
Did you
day
already
without
do
doing
something bad?
Oh, don't be so hard on him, Jason. He's only 3 years old there. Let's rock.
Here we fucking go! Do you see the game they play? Any whites in every way? Will you call it out or just let it slide? Do you got the heart, the will inside? Go free with me, yeah. Take that ride. Pushing back hard, we won't be denied. No more silence, no apathy. Do you got what it takes to go free with me?
We're going to be getting to our news. We have a spotlight by Cindy Ben on Grace Smith, and then Benny Johnson's video. You're not going to want to miss that.
Or do you rise up strong? Got something to say? It's a fight for soul, not a passing train. Will you lock it down till the bitter end? Go free with me, yeah. Take that ride. Pushing back hard, we won't be denied. No more silence, no apathy. Do you got what it takes to go free with me? Can you call out anti-whites? Hell yeah, that's right. Will you carry through the night? Fall back down from the fall. Go free with me, yeah. Take that ride. Pushing back hard, we won't be denied. No
Give it up for Anglo's excellent WG, the maker of that excellent music. Samuski says, nice baseball bat guitar. Thank you, brother. I appreciate it. Good to see you. Janice is in the house. Good to see you. Aaron is here. Lemda, great to see you again. Ivan Zehababul is here. Shannon Oliver is with us. Great to see you all. And let's get right into our items. Another testimonial. The testimonials of the efficacy of Go Free are unending. And it's one of the most powerful things you can do in service to white well-being when you've had these transformative effects in your life, these results, is to share this with everyone so that they know what is going on here. What's the difference? Why are we different? How are we different? So let's get into this short testimonial given by Grace Smith. Give it up for Grace and Cindy Ben, ladies and gentlemen. Let's see if it works better with or without that. For Grace Smith, having the right words has changed her life. Smith used to feel frustrated talking to coworkers about serious subjects like immigration. She, by the way, works in high-level federal politics. She didn't see herself or her, by the way, it's like by the by. It's not like you see in so many of these other communities. She didn't see herself or her people as valuable and therefore couldn't express how she really felt. But after putting Go Free into practice, she had a newfound moral framework formulated by Jason Kuna of No White Guilt. The Go Free method of argumentation uses lexicon and concepts to empower us against anti-whiteism and help us go free of the anti-white narrative. Smith came across Kuna in 2018 when she was watching political debate videos online, and she was a guest on a channel that had been recommended to her. She had heard many hate-filled podcasts with what was then called the alt-right, but Kuna was different, she said. What he was saying made so much sense, she said. Quote, the way he was speaking was something that appealed to me because it was something that I could share with everyone and not get in trouble. So efficacy for the reclamation of our destiny, the arresting of our victimization that you can share with everyone and you don't get immediately fired. You're not going to get in trouble. Once again, we see people coming forward with those exact same comments. His podcasts were shows that I could leave on my desk, on my phone, playing, and in the background, in a high-level, federally political environment, she could leave those playing. And if people walked by my open office door, no one was going to be offended by what they heard. She began watching Kuna's No White Guilt YouTube channel and ordered his book, Go Free, A Guide to Aligning with the Archetype of Western Kind, taking in the concepts outlined in the book, but not yet doing the workbook pages. Smith still hadn't discovered how Go Free could be applied in her life, specifically at her job as an assistant to someone in a high-level political office. Quote, until one day at work, I actually had an aha moment, and it was really interesting because I was sitting there with a coworker and we were coming up with talking points for my boss as to what he could say in response to illegal immigration needing to be aggressively curbed. And so we were trying to think of reasons as to why he could make that argument and make it okay, she recalls. Quote, and I was offering up all these like GOP talking point reasons, like, quote, well, did you know that all these immigrant children and women, a lot of them are sexually trafficked and sexually assaulted? And do you know that they are taking all the non-white jobs? I think I said people of color at the time because that's what the GOP says. They're taking all the jobs that the people of color can have. So saying, oh, the poor non-white population in this country, they're being put out by all of the immigration. This is a typical GOP. This is where she was. This is a typical GOP RINO garbage, right? And she said, and that's not fair that these people are getting hurt. And then I made the point that we see a lot of legal immigrants coming here trying to help them get their paperwork together. And they wait sometimes for years to come over. And these other people are just walking across the border. And how's that not fair either? I was coming up with all these points. And as I was saying them, I knew in my head that's not what I really felt. But that's the only way that I felt that I could voice what I really wanted to say, which was that I didn't think legal or illegal immigration was a good idea. And it was destroying the neighborhood that I lived in. And that's what I really want, because that's what mattered to me, was the fact that I couldn't walk my dog anymore, she said. Quote, I got spit on at the grocery store by a Somali Muslim for not wearing a burqa. The government built refugee housing in my middle class, predominantly white neighborhood, and then they filled it with Somali Muslims. And my car was broken into 3 times in 6 months. So totally transformed, totally white erasing the area. And because she's in the government and with the GOP, and she's got to make these totally, and where do these points come from? We know why those points are made, because of the social morality of anti-whiteism, the social morality of the West as a result. And that, of course, is the anti-white immoral imperative. Got to be concerned about the non-whites. That's the only moral thing you can do, because if you're concerned about white people, then as a group, then that's immoral. That tells you everything you need to know about the social morality, that it's anti-white, right? And I wanted to say that, but I didn't have the words to say that, and I didn't have the words to push back on it in a moral way. So I thought the only moral way to do it was to use these talking points about how non-white groups were being negatively impacted by it, because I didn't feel my group or myself as valuable enough to be able to have a reason to push back. I felt like I had to use them as a proxy so that I could make my point. Now, what happens with this is the cuck environment. What happens in the schmuck environment? The schmucks don't talk about us either. They want to talk about the blacks, how that bad they are, how the mestizos coming in, how bad they are. They want to talk about the Jews that are making all of it. They want to talk, again, nobody's talking about us, but right here. And I realized then how anti-white that was, and how I was operating in the anti-white moral framework and using the arguments that the common GOP used, which were all within the anti-white framework. And that wasn't what I really wanted to say. And then I realized, so look at how the concepts enabled her to think in a way that's conducive to our well-being. So remember that every time that these outsiders, these mutts, these vegetables show up and they want to say concepts do nothing, even though, of course, we can see that concepts are what defeated the West. Remember what they said. You cannot think in your own defense if you're a white person if you do not have the concepts to do that. And if you cannot think in your own defense, then you cannot act in your own defense. You can see the transformation that happened in her head. You can see the gears suddenly work. Oh, my God. After watching this Jason Kuda guy, after looking at the reading the Go Free manual, I now have concepts, and now suddenly, as if by magic, she's able to think about ourselves and our defense of ourselves, exactly how the Go Free dialogic is intended to work. And then I realized that you can apply the concepts, that it does work and it makes sense once you start to apply it to your life. And then I was able to actually talk to people at work, she said. Absolutely transformative, replicable, scalable. Imagine white people across all of our governments empowered with the concepts, the 6 key concepts and many more. Imagine them, and suddenly they're at work, and this epiphanic light bulb goes off in their head like Mount freaking St. Helens from the 80s. Boom, it goes off, and they go, oh my God, I know exactly how to talk about our victimization and defend ourselves in this moral way. Now, I can't be in all of those offices. You can't be in all of those offices, but the concepts can be in all of those offices. Now you get to truly see the power of Go Free, how transformative it is for the individual, for our collective, for our governments, for our state and federal governments, for our institutions, for our businesses. Do you finally see how this works? Smith continues to use GOP language when writing things for her boss because he is more comfortable with that, she noted. But I can talk, because here you have one of these gelded, sewing circle elected individuals, and this is the kind of stuff that we're going to be looking at with Benny Johnson in just a moment. What kind of people are these? They're being replaced by MAGA Republicans that people like Fuentes and so many others are trying to delegitimize. Quote, but I can talk to other people in my office and in my workplace and use the Go Free lexicon, and no one gets offended by it. And people understand it. Nobody freaks out if I say, yeah, immigration is white erasure. People get that. People look around and they're like, yeah, I see that we have a lot of Indians around here, so we are being white erased. And so you can use these words, you can use these concepts in your life at a micro level. Smith finds it amazing to see that Go Free has traveled all the way up to the mouth of President Trump, citing his interview with Time magazine in April 2024, where he said there is an anti-white feeling in the country that cannot be allowed either. So it starts with us individually, and it travels up and it travels out. Perfectly said right there. It starts with us individually and it travels up throughout us. It suffuses us with this power that we then can put together in whatever construct that we need for the environment that we are in. Absolutely a tool for the dynamism of society where nothing else would work. Brilliantly written by Grace. And I think that is the beauty of it. That's the beauty of Go Free, that it is teachable. And it's so teachable and so learnable that people can pick it up and they can spread it to other people. That is what makes it such a wonderful method to use in your life, and such an easy method once you start doing it, she said. Using Go Free is almost like a ripple in a pond, she added, because when you throw a rock in, you cannot see how far the ripples go, but you know they're out there. I really like that visualization. Because it perfectly mirrors what we see in the real world. You toss that pebble in, you do it online. So all solo activists out there, all members of the OT, you toss that pebble out there in the world and you can't see how far the ripples go, but they do. And they engender ripples of their own. Never forget that. Quote, and that's kind of the way it is with going free. It's like you throw that rock in and you introduce someone to the concept and you don't know where it's going to go. So I think that it makes it such a powerful lexicon and dialectic and method to use because it travels so fast. She said, everybody on your feet, quadruple 07s, crowns and gems for the great Grace Smith. Ladies and gentlemen, 07s, crowns and gems, Rogus emojis, and keep it going for the great Cindy Ben, who puts together these magnificent, you can find all of Cindy Ben's work. There are many other testimonials, and there are always more coming. They are absolutely resplendent. And we keep getting more and more. And you can head into the description on YouTube, drop down into that description. There's a block of links right at the very top of the description. And I think it's near the bottom of that block of links. And you'll find it says Cindy Ben Substack. Click on that, become a follower, and start reading and start sharing the work by Cindy Ben. Let's hear it. Big salutes, ladies and gentlemen. Grace, there she is in the live chat. Big salutes. And now let's take a look. Remember, you're tagging me as @no white guilt. If you have any questions, comments, or concerns while we're here today together. But let's take a look at the kind of Republicans that populate the GOP, the kind of Mitt Romneys that are out there, the kind of Bushes, the kind of on and on, you know, all the different names. We all have our favorites to remember to direct our intense hatred for, and the little voodoo dolls that we're stabbing on a 24/7 to undermine them. And so you know who they are. They are being run out across the country by MAGA candidates, MAGA Republican candidates, who want to see the Trump administration's agenda realized. Thank God. But what happens as Trump, the administration, and the agenda, so much of which either directly or indirectly benefits white people, benefits white children, benefits white men, benefits white women. What's happening? Well, you have an endless parade of garbage online that is doing everything they can to undermine Trump and that administration so that none of these things can take place. You have the Democrats who at every nook and cranny and step along the way are legally, illegally, immorally, unethically doing everything they can to undermine that agenda. And you have these RINO Mitt Romney Republicans getting in the way. And we've got a perfect case scenario right here. South Carolina should have gone over to completely red. There should have been no district where Democrats could easily win a seat on the basis of them being Democrat. That's not how it works. You look at what happened in Virginia. They were willing and they executed, and only because of the Supreme Court of Virginia was it taken down. But they were disenfranchising 50% of the state. That's what Democrats do. That's what hardcore anti-whites do. They've got no problem. But in these other states, they literally have carved out sections so that Democrats of various, sometimes black, sometimes white, sometimes whatever, so that Democrats can have seats. That's not how it's supposed to work. The Democrats are not carving out zones so that Republicans can have seats. It is only these RINO, Mitt Romney, Republican, anti-white light garbage that are. And Benny, I hope you're hearing my voice. Call them anti-white light if you'd like. Let's see what Benny has to say.
Breaking news, you have been betrayed again by the absolute worst of the worst, the effeminate, silk-stocking, country club, good old boy, Southern white weakling Republican class.
I am with him on all of that, except for calling out that they're white. Their birth doesn't matter. And you see, the reason he is safe, the reason he feels it's acceptable to discriminate, to badmouth against white people is because of the anti-white metric. Because we live under a social morality that trumps religion, trumps ethics, trumps laws, trumps codes, trumps norms, trumps everything. That's how the social morality always works. For all countries of all time, the social morality always trumps everything. Sometimes the social morality is congruent with the religion. Sometimes it isn't. And when it isn't, it trumps the religion and the religion's morality. That's what you have in the West. So the fact that they're white, he can only mock them because according to this social morality, which is the anti-white immoral imperative, you can ridicule whites, you can mock them, you can call out their race as the reason why they're bad, as the identifier. And Benny, you know very well, would never say the damn Jews, the damn blacks. He would never do this. He only does it with whites. Why? Because of that social morality. Because it, according to the anti-white social morality, would be immoral. It would be wrong to call out blacks for their race or Jews for their race. So I'm with him along all of that, except for the part where he's calling out white people as the problem.
which I'm starting to know really, really well, having moved to the South. These are people who are doughy and absolutely have never known a hard day in their lives, who live inside of these red kingdoms where Democrats just effectively became Republicans, right? In sort of like a great swap and switch. And they've never known any type of...
Now, this goes along with the same GOP conservative nonsense that the Dems are the real racists. They were the problematic people in the Republican Party. Well, they're just actually Democrats that came over to the... No, they're anti-white filth, Benny. That's what they are.
A struggle. They've never known any type of hardship. They've never left their cozy and cushy hometowns here in like South Carolina.
Part of their cushy life is not that they live in a Republican area or a conservative area. It's the fact that they're filthy rich, like the white woman I showed you earlier, and they don't care about the white race. They couldn't care less about us, unlike a percentage of the overall black race cares for all black people. A percentage of the overall Jewish race or people cares for all Jewish people. A percentage of the Arab people cares for all, and that's a laudable thing. That is a wonderful thing that they do. Only the white race. So you have these filthy rich whites, and they make sure that they keep their neighborhoods reflecting their biospirit, but they couldn't care less about your neighborhood. That makes them anti-white, and they should be called out for that. When those rich whites start being called out for being anti-white, they'll begin changing their tunes.
And they just think that you're dealing with the Democrat Party of Bill Clinton and Arkansas. And, you know, our biggest debates are going to be on how much we spend on Medicaid and Medicare. Can we get some tax cuts? And that's...
Now, I also take a little bit of umbrage to doing the Southern accent to ridicule Southern people. You can do, as I do, the various Southern accents to ridicule Southern people, as long as you're going to do black accents to ridicule blacks, and Jewish ones to ridicule Jews, and Arab ones and Indian ones. As long as you're going to do all, then fine. Be my guest. There are plenty of people who have the various accents of the South that are degenerate anti-white garbage. Lean on them as hard as you want, ridicule them, but only if you're going to make fun of all the other groups, Benny. The same way. I want to hear some oy veys. I want to hear that coming out of you real soon, Benny. If you're going to do a Southern accent, I want to hear some oy veys.
Not the Democrat Party of today. Those people don't live in reality. In fact, there's something wrong about there's something like very bad for your soul about not fighting every single day, living inside of like a Republican supermajority state.
That's true.
Like Indiana, for instance, where Democrats haven't been in power in like 50 years. You get lazy, you get soft. You don't remember what it's like to fight. And unless you go to San Francisco or Philadelphia or Detroit or Baltimore, Washington, D.C., you don't actually see what the left has become. They become a militant Marxist movement that is dead.
Dumb, my friend. Dumb. Do not call them Marxists. Do not call them communists. That doesn't engender anything, any awareness, any anger from white people. No one can place a definition on socialist or Marxist or communist. Nobody can do it. Nobody knows exactly what it is. I went out during the Tea Party and I asked all, because they were all the time, they had signs like the socialist. And I was like, what is one? And there was nothing that they could explain about what a socialist was that could excite you, that could anger you, that could weld you with other white people in defense of our group as a whole, and therefore defense of our Western countries. There's nothing there. Stop calling them Marxists and socialists and communists. It's useless. It's detrimental. It's worse than useless. It's detrimental. They're anti-white. Everything that they do, everybody you call a communist, a socialist, or a Marxist, Benny, I hope you're hearing me. Every single one of those people, at the root of every single one of their acts of evil is the explanation that they're doing it to get back at white people. So call them anti-white. Lambda says, what happens if a anti-white Democrat becomes president? And every Democrat is anti-white. So yes, if they become president in 28, they'll begin repealing every single thing that Donald Trump did. And they'll do it illegally. They'll do it legally. They'll do it. Democrats at different levels will just do away with everything Trump did without getting the approval, they'll just start peeling it all the way like this. And that's the outcome that people like Fuentes, little bubble boy, little exiguous, bovarist, I'm a Mexican bubble boy. That's what he wants. That's what he wants for you and your family. Just remember that. When you look at the beautiful white children, just know that Bubble Boy Fuentes wants their deep and lasting victimization to anti-whites. Never forget it. All of these taboo grifters, Stu Peters out there, all of these people that are undermining the Trump administration right now, that's what they all want, because that's what the outcome is going to be. Anti-whiteism 777. These bastards live in these anti-white narratives and follow the anti-white immoral imperative. 100%. Big salutes to you. Anti-white 777. No, I don't think he did, but there is some question about whether or not he's had some relationships. Lambda says, my sister may be under the anti-white curse, but I'm not sure. She is somewhat feminist. That's anti-whiteism. So you're right about that. And can go free help her? And do I use, yes, you can. Go free will help her. You start off simple, start off using some of the basics, anti-white, anti-whiteism. You drop them into conversation, and then you leave the topic. You don't act like you're a fanatic about it. You are an authority dropping a fact. Well, that's just anti-whiteism, anti-white ideology. And then you move on to the next subject. You allow her to assimilate those concepts as concepts that are being spoken around the world, across the West, all the way around, and it will begin working wonders on her. Start slow, and then you slowly build. If she says something that's horribly anti-white, say, oh, you couldn't possibly mean that, because I know you're not a bad person, and that's really anti-white. So you couldn't mean it to injure white people. And get back with us. We've had many people reclaim their entire family. So you are in good hands here. When our destiny is recaptured, these cowards and collaborators cannot be allowed to escape justice for their sins of inflicting white erasure upon Western civilization and Western kind. Absolutely not. They will not be able to get away with it. They're not going to walk. They're not going to, it's like the basic bitch Republican RINOs that are just like, well, you know, they've seen the error of their ways and now they know, and that's all we got. No, there will be severe punishments. The GOP cowards are evil demons, he says. Absolutely right. Remember, tagging me as @ no white guilt, and I will get to your comments. I have a question on X, or the last few days. I guess I have been hearing quote, the Jews are behind everything anti-white. Why is that stuff all over Twitter over the past few years? Because Elon Musk had the totality of this investment of billions of dollars threatened by anti-whites who were threatening boycotts, business boycotts, advertising boycotts that would completely undermine. We played the video here where Elon Musk was on stage and he was being asked about this, and he was saying a little bit of a tantrum. He literally said, like, F them, they'll destroy the platform and everybody will know who did it. But at root, he knows, and everybody knows, it won't matter if they know who did it. That won't matter, because you've got to win. That's all that happens in the jungle. You've got to win. And so what ended up happening then? Well, he had a journey to visit to Europe and made a bunch of friends like Ben Shapiro, and had meetings with the ADL. They came out and spoke with him. All this was widely reported. And then suddenly, hardcore anti-Jews were allowed back on X. People that had been banned were allowed on X, one right after the other. And then we saw all of this different anti-Jew filth being boosted. Accounts like I just showed you the other day. Accounts with 200 followers posting an anti-Jew tweet that would get 1 million views, 500,000 views, being boosted beyond imagination. Why? To quarantine those people, to identify them. They might think they're anonymous, but anything on your phone, anything on your laptop, anything, anywhere, they can know who's using the product. And they can look through the machine, they can, whatever device it is, they can find your name, they can find everything they need to know about you. So these people are quarantined on X the same way they are on other platforms. At the same time, Elon obviously had to agree to deboosting what they refer to at X as white identity. And that is people talking about the interests of whites, people talking about the victimization of whites. That's why we are deboosted and the anti-Jews are boosted. Part of boosting the anti-Jews is to boost the villain role as the choice of alternative. If you don't want to go along with the system, the anti-white system, you don't want to choose one anti-white side or the other, the anti-white Democrats or the anti-white Republicans, and across the West, it's the exact same thing with whatever their parties are. You might have harder core anti-white and anti-white light. They want your alternative to be something controllable, something that could never actually do injury to the anti-white system. And playing the villain in their story is the position, is the role for those people. So they push that role endlessly. And we've seen forever what that role does to people. It never helps individual white people. It never helps white people collectively. It never pushes back, never changes the conversation about our victimization. The anti-whites continue to control that as long as people are playing the villain. That's why it's done. That's why you see that happening. Thank you for the question. Great question. Cool Papa J Magic's in the house.
Set on stripping all ability for us to have a republic in this country forever. And these people didn't wake up during Joe Biden. They'll never wake up. And they betrayed you once again. Very sad to report, ladies and gentlemen, that we are going to have a tough map in the midterms. Now, it didn't have to be this way. The midterms could have already been won. But South Carolina Republicans, Senate Republicans, of course, always just betrayed you and refused to get rid of their obscenely gerrymandered, racist DEI congressional ghetto here.
So,
Republicans, Senate Republicans, of course, always just betrayed you and refused to get rid of their obscenely gerrymandered, racist DEI congressional ghetto here.
Totally wrong, Benny. Anti-white ghetto, white erased ghetto, not racist. If you use their terminology, you legitimize their ideology. Their ideology is the anti-white narrative, is anti-whiteism. If you legitimize their story, their narrative, the narrative we're forced to live under, you can never be the good guy. You can never win in the end. So it's anti-white, not DEI. Call it what it does. Call it what it does. It's not racist. That's an anti-white weaponized slur. No one is going to accept it any other way. It's in the minds of hundreds of millions of white people. You can't change that definition, Benny. DEI is just one of the 10,000 masks that anti-whiteism will wear. If you call it by the mask, they just change the mask and they continue pushing it. Then you'll be back making, well, now they're calling it. Call it anti-whiteism, what it is. So, but here's the point I want to make to you. The midterms are going to be difficult, not because Donald Trump did something for a group of people that gave him over $200 million plus. What a shocker that a politician would repay people who give him over $200 plus million, right? What a surprise. That's the way the world works. Let's be adults. If you gave him 200 mil and he decided to do nothing for you but to serve them, then maybe you could talk about something. But it's not because he did something for people who gave him $200 million. It's because Democrats and RINO Republicans are undermining a map that could have delivered an easy victory in the midterms. So when they want to say it's because he did for the Jews in Iran, you say bullshit. It's because of RINO Republicans, it's because of Democrats, and it's because of you taboo grifting garbage, you villain role playing garbage. That's why he's going to have a hard time in the midterms.
That sends one of the worst members of Congress to Congress, a guy named James Clyburn. He's 85 years old. He's been in office for 40 years. This was exactly the time to send him packing and to redistrict and to kick him out of that seat, along with all of these other little seats in the South. All of these seats are Southern Republican weak, good old boy weakness. And you'll notice what Florida has done here. That's a very different type of Republican. This is the type of Republican that understands what the left is capable of. But these red Southern states don't. And so the left has encroached on them, manipulated them, just like they did in Indiana, as you can see.
He's going to show a guy here in a moment, one of these RINO Republicans, and you can see on them that these are the choices of the sewing circles. Women of both sexes, mostly women, but women of both sexes in these sewing circles vote for these effete, doughy, soft losers because they feel comfortable with them. We need men. We need Westmen, men of the West who have had enough. And they say to the Democrats, no, not only we're going to get rid of every single seat that you can have in this state. That's what we need. Not going to be nice. This is about the welfare of Western kind and therefore Western civilization. I'm not going to play nice with you. But weak, effete, dickless Republicans, they'll fold over like a lawn chair. They will fold right up. And we've seen it for generations. We've all been complaining about it for generations. And finally, we've got Donald Trump and the Trump administration for the first time in our entire lives, where Republicans they're not weak and folding right over, where they send SWAT teams in to this anti-white black senators' businesses, and they bring their employees out and put them on their faces in front of everyone with guns pointed at their heads. It doesn't get any better than this.
Here, Indiana giving 2 seats to Democrats, and then all of the senators that voted to do it lost their jobs. Unfortunately for us,
so that was because of MAGA America. Everybody was all of the RINO Republicans were primaried out in, what was it, Indiana?
Manipulated them just like they did in Indiana. As you can see here, Indiana giving 2 seats to Democrats, and then all of the senators that voted to do it lost their jobs.
That's how it should be. That is the Trump effect.
Unfortunately for us, that makes it all the more difficult to maintain the House. Now, Republicans have 215 different House seats that are pretty much on lock. These are Trump plus 10 districts. Very hard for Democrats to win. But imagine if Indiana had done their job and gotten rid of these 2 seats, and South Carolina just didn't done their job and got rid of this seat, then you'd already have 218 Republican seats. It'd be nearly impossible for Democrats to win in the midterms. That's all we needed. Or you could have had Alabama, Louisiana, or Mississippi go for gold, go for broke, and get rid of their Democrat seats, which they all could have done.
Yeah.
But they won't do it because they're weak. So too bad. If Georgia had done it, Georgia could get rid of 3 or 4 Democrat seats, but they won't do it because they're all weaklings. South Carolina Senate RINOs killed the America First redistricting map. The final vote was 20 to 24. This was 12 Republicans joining the Charleston, South Carolina swamp, joining Democrats. Can you imagine? 12 Republicans. Indiana cross MAGA, Indiana.
They should take all their names and dedicate serious effort to primarying them out of there, to defeating them, and ruin their businesses. Take down all of their names, ruin their businesses, ruin their lives. That's how it should be done. Everybody at every business is doing something illegal. It should all be dug up, intentionally or unintentionally. It should all be dug up. It should all be revealed. People are having flings, and they have enamoradas and enamorados, and all that should be found out and revealed. They should all be ruined. All of these doughy garbage RINO Republicans, basic bitch Mitt Romney Republicans should be destroyed. Henry's here. Good to see you, champ. Jason endorsing being an equal opportunity offender. I love it. I sometimes exaggerate my own American accent. Very cool, man. Chatter stands with us. Babylon B made an anti-white meme making fun of Gen Z using a white kid graduating that didn't know how to read. Wow. What filthy anti-white shit. They wouldn't do it to a non-white kid. Of course not. Demonstrating, once again, the anti-white morality, anti-white immoral imperative of Western civilization. Thank you for mentioning it. Lambda says Arizona is becoming white erased by the year. Sickening. It's happening everywhere. These places are our homes. We built them. I feel like a minority in my home. And what does that do to to our people psychologically? What does it do to our children? What does it do to our seniors? What does it do to our absolute strongest in their prime, like myself? Can we take our states and nations back? Absolutely. And Go Free is doing it. And you just heard from that testimonial exactly how it's working. And if it can't work for the individual, then it can't work for the macro. And what you've always heard is the talk about the macro, the talk about the white race as an idea. do this for the white race as an. That's not how they were always wrong, and I was always right. I mean, that's just the reality, and these people should accept it. Samuski says a non-white co-worker that I frequently talk about Go Free with told me today that he wants to stop telling racist jokes. He was surprised when I asked him why. Wow. So he's not going to tell any more anti-white jokes because you talk about white well-being in the workplace. Holy 07s. So I want you to think about this. What's the power victory there? What is the power win there? It's that this coworker, this non-white coworker, is joining Samuski in objecting to the mistreatment of whites. Elsewhere, you'll find out, like with cucks want to get the non-white coworkers to come over by telling them that they're superior, they're better if they hold a conservative view of any type. You like Second Amendment? Well, God, I'm going to applaud you. You want to come over and sleep with the wife? You know, that's how they actually work. That's how these cucks, that's why they got the name cuck. What would the schmucks do? They would want to draw some kind of connection with the non-white coworker about complaining about some other non-white group that's not present. But Go Free, Samuski with Go Free is able to bring him over with a concern about our people. Big victory there. Happy belated Memorial Day. Thank you for your service to our country and to all Western kind, brother, says the great Chatterstan. And same to you, my brother. Well done, well done. My sister thinks I am a white supremacist and doesn't want to listen to the stuff I say. Says Lambda, all the more reason to drop, exactly as I said, very simplistically, you drop a reality, a fact. Use these concepts, drop it as a fact, walk from the conversation. Drop it as a fact, walk from the conversation. Powerful. You want to bring something up? You could talk about Ford. You could talk about Harley. You could talk about Yale. You could talk about endless companies and universities, about their discriminatory practice. You could talk about Disney. You could talk about their discriminatory practices against white people, specifically about white males. You could say, you know what I just read the other day about Disney, specifically a document that said no hiring white males. That's such anti-white filth. No group should be discriminated against on the basis of their birth, and then walk away from the conversation. Say, hey, mom, when's dinner ready, or whatever it is. Sorry to hear that. You see how anti-whiteism destroys the white family. You see how it turns brothers and sisters against each other, husbands and wives against each other. This is an injury we experienced our familial relationships are the most important thing in a human being's life, and they are destroyed by anti-whiteism. And these other morons out there, they want to talk about genocide at some point in the future. When you are suffering these real injuries, every psychological trauma, every single day of your life. Great to see Land of the Fake over there lighting up the chat. Awesome, brother. Great to see you on Rumble. Dallas is over there as well. So is Giuseppe. Hello and welcome. And so is Double G. Great to see you all over there. Remember tagging me if you have something that you would like me to see. Cindy Ben herself is in the chat. Lambda says, is Musk anti-white? We don't think, I mean, he does plenty of anti-white things, doesn't he? He likes the H-1Bs, doesn't he? Business decision that is harmful to the white race, but he has picked up some of our concepts and used them. He has himself spoken about anti-whites, anti-whiteism, and we want more of that. We want to reach Elon, and that's why we swash on him like there is no tomorrow. We can bring him around. Oops. The chat leapt.
And they lost South Carolina. You were warned, primary them all. These are the names of the Republican traitors, once again. Despicable, supremely annoying. We're leaving at least a dozen seats on the table for Democrats who would have
party affiliation, and calling them traitors engenders nothing. Benny, call them anti-whites. The whole white population who isn't radically anti-white is going to say, how are they anti-white? Oh, let me count the ways. Let me you know, that's like when I hear somebody say, when I say that a politician is anti-white or what have you, and they say, how are they anti-white? For me, that's like the bell at a horse race. I mean, I'm just like, and they're off. It's total victory at that point.
Happily draw out all Republicans from a Harris +5 to +20 states in Colorado or Oregon, if they could, 6 seats from the South, except for Florida and Texas that actually did their jobs, 2 from Kansas and Nebraska, 1 from New Hampshire, at least 3 in Texas. It's 12. South Carolina better approve this map for 2028 immediately. Look at this. Look at how horrible
Look at this map.
gerrymander is.
This is what, oh, we gotta be fair.
Again, this not my 2-year-old would be able to tell you that this is a much more fair. These are better shape. My 2-year-old knows his shapes. These are better shapes than this shape. This is a bad shape. He would tell you. South Carolina redistricting is dead. Vital cloture vote to limit debate and force a vote on the Senate fails. Republicans citing a Democrat argument that early voting has begun to die. So it was too late. Yeah, sure. I'm sure that libs would be down with that. You saw what they did in Virginia. You saw what they did at the border. You see they do, like with child mutilation. Like,
don't ever use libs. And Benny, you too.
Do you understand that they wanted to bring the whole of Haiti and Somalia into your neighborhood and have the government pay for them to open up daycares?
Yeah, so I mean, he is identifying, and this is what I like about Benny. I got some I don't like. I got some I like. He says, they're moving all these non-whites into your neighborhood. He can identify. So how is it interacting with us? Are they libs? They're anti-white. Lambda says, I'm so glad I met you, Jason, before I bought into the Jews are behind every anti-white thing. Thank you for saying that, and I'm so glad you're here, brother.
To defraud you. There's nothing beneath these people. They want your children dead on the street. They want your daughters running in the high school locker rooms from their transgender coaches, changing in front of them. That's what they want. They're desirous of this. It's demonic. Go to downtown LA and look around. Just go. I'm so disgusted by the weakness of the Republican Party. They don't understand what time it is. These people don't understand what time it is. Redistricting is dead. This was a setup. We won't forget the Republicans who killed it. It'll be their fault if Republicans lose the House by 1 seat in November, which it may well happen. Redistricting in South Carolina officially dead. It was a setup. This is why RINOs can never be trusted no matter what they say. Another reason that John Cornyn must go and hopefully will be out tonight. So as I was saying, Nayland Haley, who knows South Carolina very well, saying that the reason is obvious. South Carolina has one of the most powerful legislative branches, one of the weakest executive branches, the opposite of Florida. Giving the highest authority to the people who are most susceptible to lobbying and interest groups is not productive. Giving the highest authority to people who debate and talk all day is not productive. Giving the highest authority to multiple different people divided on ideology instead of unified to the vote is not productive. It's a great take. The governor's powers have to be expanded regardless of which individual is elected because the legislature has proven that we cannot count on them to take care of roads, schools, congressional districts. Other states don't have to put up with this, and neither should we. South Carolina deserves a government that works. So this is Nikki Haley's son, who's actually very based. So good for you, dude. Time to teach South Carolina RINOs the Indiana lesson. That's exactly right. And there it is. We told you, slow rolled it. So they had a reason. Call your senators, tell them that we're going to do to them what we did in Indiana.
Yeah.
This is it. It's the face of weakness. This is exactly.
This is the kind of guy that women of both sexes feel comfortable with. And that's what's got to go. These kind of people on the front lines. No, if you're going to have somebody on the front lines, you want that guy shredded. You want that guy masculine as all hell. You want that guy a force of nature. You don't want this thing. If you were to disrobe him, there might be nothing underneath. It's just this doughy, soft-looking face. Absolutely pathetic. These are the kind of people that get elected by the sewing circle who are choosing who they think would be a good babysitter for their cat Tinkles. And that's not going to cut it against anti-whiteism. Anti-whiteism 777 says that Jews who are anti-white love intertwining, protecting our people with anti-Semitism to give themselves power. And that should tell you something, that we need to do the same thing. In fact, I do the same thing, except the difference is that for us, it's true. If we arrest the victimization of Western kind, if we get rid of anti-whiteism, the evil of this age, everyone in the West benefits, every single person, because it's anti-whiteism that's getting rid of all that we care about, love, and need, no matter what your background is. You want civility. You want courts of law to operate in the Western standard. You want education in the Western standard. You want the defense of the countries at the Western standard. You want all of this. So by destroying anti-whiteism, by combating anti-whiteism, it is for the good of everyone. Anti-whites, in this case, anti-white Jews, they're lying to you, obviously, when they say, oh, it'll benefit everybody. You know, they used to go around, these particular type of folks used to go around and say that their ideas and what they produce is so special, and that's why they had to be protected. And white people like this one that you're seeing on the right bought into that. They capitulated to it. They usually don't care about anything.
The type I'm talking about. Exactly the type I'm talking about. The guy who has never known struggle in his entire life. It's just cushy. I like my Democrat friends. But this is what they say.
I want to hear that Jewish one, Benny. I want to hear the Jewish accent. I want to hear a New York accent. I want to hear you make fun of that. I want to hear you make fun of a New York, a Jewish, an Indian, a black. Let's get Benny Johnson doing some Shaniqua. Then I'll be fine with him coming down on anti-white garbage Southerners.
Columbia Swamp has to end. Vote Ralph Norman, the only candidate for governor who's been calling for redistricting for more than a month. He's calling for it since August 2025. Ralph Norman is the man running for governor. Weak called them out like Indiana. Lieutenant governor who's running for office says it's time for South Carolina Senate to step up and finish the job. Well, too bad. Too bad. We're very disappointed with South Carolina Senate failure to act on President Trump's call for redistricting. It's an incredible missed opportunity. Now we have to focus on what's ahead for us, winning the next election to protect a majority for Trump's agenda.
So remember, when it comes down to it, if there's a real struggle for the midterms, you can blame the taboo grifters, you can blame the Mitt Romney RINO Republicans, and of course, the basic bitch hardcore Democrats. All of them are anti-white because their outcomes as they intersect with our well-being is anti-white. Yes, indeed. We're going to have a good lesson on that on Sunday. I see Bryce is here. Hello and welcome. Good to see you. Who else is here? We're getting ready to head on over to the Rebel Round Table tonight. A space right here on X for 1 to 2 hours. We'll see. Filthy, angry Irish peasant is in the house. Hello to you, good brother. Still got to check to make sure that your crypto came through, because I didn't see it as of yesterday. I think it was. Westman is here. Hello and welcome. Good to see you. We're going to take a look to see if there are any financial gifts and any more comments as we listen to what is a song that really demonstrates what's so very important today.
He runs through fields with dirt on his hands, eyes wide open to distant lands. His father's stories fill his dreams of heroes, builders, mighty schemes. He climbs the trees his grandfathers planted, takes nothing in this world for granted. The blood of explorers courses through. He feels it calling, what he'll do. Energy ancient, burning bright. The spirit of the West ignites. In every step, in every breath, he carries life, he conquers death. White man, axis of the Western soul, reaching every goal. Father, husband, builder, guide, defender, standing at the line. White man, conqueror of the unknown, carving out a home from wilderness to shining spire. He is the keeper of the fire. Now he's older, books in hand, learning laws that govern land. Mathematics, engines roar, philosophy inventions fresh and new. With calloused hands and sharpened mind, he builds the future for mankind. Not by chance, but by design, he shapes the world. He draws the line between the chaos and the form, through raging seas, through raging storms. White man, axis of the Western soul, reaching every goal. Father, husband, builder, guide, defender, standing at the line. White man, conqueror of the unknown. White man, carving out a home from wilderness to shining spire. He is the keeper of the fire. He takes a bride, he makes a vow, sacred bond he honors now. Together they create a life, through joy and pain, through peace and strife. He is the rock, the steady hand, provider for his family's land. His love is fierce, his purpose clear, to build tomorrow year by year. Children laughing, children grow. He teaches hearts to seek the flame, stories of their ancient line and how to guard the sacred name. He shows them beauty, truth, and might, how to fight the worthy fight. He is the trunk, they are the branch, the tree of life, the soul of West, the warrior when the darkness calls, standing when the empire falls. He doesn't kneel, he doesn't break, he carries on for future's sake. Now silver-haired with weathered face, he's run the race, he's kept the pace. Grandfather, uncle, pillar tall, he's seen it all, he's built it all. The young ones gather at his feet, the circle of the life's complete. He passes on the sacred flame, the Western spirit still the same. He is the root, the ancient oak, the embodiment of all who spoke of destiny and higher call. He gave his all, he gave his all. White man, axis of the Western soul, who made the fractured whole. Father, husband, builder, guide, the pillar standing with his pride. White man, conqueror of sea and star, we remember who we are. From wilderness to shining spire, we are the keepers of the fire. So let it burn across the years, through all the doubts and all the fears. The white man stands, his work continues. The spirit lives in all that's in you. From boy to man to father wise, the archetype will never die. Western kind, eternal free. The root, the trunk, the sacred tree.
What an absolutely beautiful piece. And you can hear it on White Wellbeing Radio. And you can head back to the beginning of our gathering and you can see the address there as well. Let's start off celebrating the great Dude Bro moment. He'll be here soon enough. And yes, we do see you, First Last. Thank you for showing up, brother. Dude Bro moment, $50 for White Wellbeing. He never fails. He always says for White Wellbeing with those $50. God bless you, Dude Bro moment. What a champion. What a champion. What else do we have here? We have Weldon walking into the house of Swash with a $5 bill. Thank you so much, Weldon. $5. He says, God bless. Well, God bless you too, good sir. And we also have First Last, $5 bill. He walks into the house of Swash holding over his head. Thank you so much. And he writes with it, help is on the way. He's the Calvary. Thank you so much and great to see you, brother. Let's see if we have anybody over here. We are going to be heading on over. And thank you all for celebrating the great dude bro moment and coming through like a champion. Angry Irish peasant. Next time, try to send $1 worth, and we'll see if that comes through. Did it bounce back to you or something like that? The crypto, because it hasn't shown up as yet. I always advise people, send $1 to one of those crypto wallets. The following stream, listen for me saying, hey, we got the $1 on the crypto. And then okay, I can fire off more just to make sure everything is working properly. Great to see you all coming by tonight. We're going to be heading on over to the Rebel Roundtable, as you saw on the screen here in just a moment. I'll be pulling that up, and we're going to be there for about an hour to 2 hours. We'll see how it goes, and we'll see. We'll continue the conversation there, and you'll be able to bring up other conversations if you would like. Ask questions, clarification. It'll show up right on my X account. That's where you'll be able to find it. And we always have a really fantastic, a splendid, a profound conversation on our spaces. So make sure you do that. Don't forget that tomorrow is Thursday, and that means that West Coast Shade with Dallas Malloy is going to be coming on at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So do the math if you're in some other time zone, and we'd like to see you there. That's always all of our spaces are fantastic. You don't want to miss that. And then keep an eye out for Saturday. I don't know if we figured out what was it, under the eucalyptus tree? Our brothers Down Under are going to hold a space, and I think it is at something like 10:30 Eastern time. We'll clarify with that. We'll let everybody know. It'll come up on my X account as well. And we got a $10 financial gift just came in at the buzzer. $10 from Land of the Fake, home of the gay. God bless you. Good to see you, brother. Thank you so much. He says, you answer the call of duty more than anyone I have ever seen. Thank you for your loyal servitude to our people. And God bless you for that. It takes a really good person, a really good man to recognize such things, to value them. Think about all of the others in the white sympathetic sphere that did not value this service that landed. So it takes a really classy, true man of the West. And God bless you. Thank you so very much for that, brother. And thank you. Those words are worth 100 more zeros. Thank you so much for the financial gift and what you wrote. Amen, said by Giuseppe somewhere during our gather. Something I said. Good to see you. I don't think we missed anybody. Nobody's here on X. Let me take a quick look over here, and we will be rolling out here in a minute to start that space. Looks like we didn't miss any financial gifts. And okay. He said he put the address in manually. It said it was invalid. Sent an email through the NWGs. Well, thank you for getting back to me. So do you think you just put the address in wrong? If not, try it with $1. We'll see if that $1 is worth. We'll see if that goes through. And then we'll check to make sure everything is copacetic. Filthy Angry Irish Peasant says, no Randy Fine clones of any type. Amen to that. Lambda says, I keep hearing that Trump's base has turned on him. This is sloganeering by anti-whites, by taboo grifters who want to build that audience up by poking. What's the taboo today? You got everybody interested in supporting Trump. Well, that's the ultimate taboo then, to say, oh, he's a fake. He's not for us. It's a total taboo. So that's why they keep poking it and repeating it and echoing it. And anti-whites are coming in and magnifying everything that the taboo grifters are doing. He says, but almost everyone I know still supports him. Absolutely. Everywhere I know, everyone I don't meet anybody that was a Trump supporter in real life that says, oh, no, I can't stand the guy. They might say something like, when he started the war in Iran, they might have been like, I'm not for that. But they didn't abandon Trump. and the administration. Lambda finishes up with, is the, quote, MAGA is dead stuff lies spread by people like Nick Fuentes? You're absolutely right. Exactly. Primarily, Fuentes is one of the main culprits of this. So never forget, if we lose the midterms, it's Nick Fuentes' fault and all the other taboo grifters. So know where to direct your ire. Know where to direct your venom. If things get much harder for the white race in America, and therefore the rest of the West, because of the influence that the Trump administration exerts over the rest of the West, blame the taboo grifters. You already know the hardcore anti-whites are going to behave that way. You know that the RINO Republican, Mitt Romney Republicans, you already have them categorized as anti-white and are victimizer. You can add to that list people like Fuentes. He's never cared for the white race, not one iota. Ay is here. Good to see you. All right, folks, we're going to turn it over to the one and only For Nola. An excellent gathering, if I do say so myself. A lot was covered, a lot was learned, a lot was communicated. We saw how you have conservative people like Benny Johnson, and they're like right on the knife's edge. They could fall one way or the other, and we need them to rise toward white well-being. White well-being is not white nationalism, is not pro-white, it's ending the victimization of our people. It's arresting the victimization. If we do not do that, if we do not call it out for what it is, we will fail, and the West will fail, and there'll be no safe haven. There'll be no redoubt that can protect you. Never forget it. We're the people that are going to ride in on the horseback. The victory has come because the cavalry has arrived. Big salutes to every one of you. Let's go free. Roll out.
Yeah, I'm a small town man, I've been around a little. I like guitars and I like a fiddle, and that's the kind of soul it takes to fan my flame. I'm a blue-eyed Billy, kind of rough and ruddy. I have to work to be somebody. I'm a white man looking for a place to do my thing. I don't want no handout living, don't want any part of anything they're giving, 'cause I'm proud white and I got a song to sing. Well, I said a few things and I'll admit it. If you want to get ahead, you gotta honk and get it. I'm a white man looking for a place to do my thing. I'm a West man looking for a place to